Hello everyone, welcome to Rising of Al-Kabulan, a social media platform that aims to restore Africans back to their spiritual identity. One of humanity's oldest questions is, what happens when we die? Every religion gives its own answer, and together they show us how deeply people have sought to understand this mystery. But which one is more accurate or closer to the right answer? The more we understand the meaning of life, we will understand the purpose of death. In this video, we will hear what other religions say about the after death. Then we will dwell more in the explanation of after death in African indigenous spirituality. In Christianity, the soul faces judgment. The righteous enter heaven, the wicked go to hell, and it is said when you're dead, you no longer have any power to influence the living. In Islam, the soul waits in Barzakh until Judgment Day. Allah rewards the righteous with paradise, Jannah, and punishes the wicked in Jahannam, the fire of hell. In Hinduism, too, the soul never dies, but is reborn through samsara, the cycle of birth and death. Our karma shapes our next life, and the ultimate goal is moksha, liberation, union with the divine. In Buddhism, too, karma shapes rebirth into human, heavenly, or hellish realms, but the final goal is nirvana, the end of suffering, the freedom from rebirth. In Judaism, some speak of Sheol, others of Gan Eden and Olam Haba, the world to come. Many also believe in a resurrection in the Messianic age. In Taoism, death is a return to the Tao, the great source. Some speak of immortal spirits, others of death as simply a transformation back into the universe. In Sikhism, the soul also passes through rebirth until it reaches mukti, liberation and union with Waheguru, the Eternal One. In atheism and secular thought, death is the end of consciousness. What lives on is not the soul, but the impact and memory we leave behind. In African indigenous spirituality, death is not the end. The dead become ancestors, guiding and protecting the living. To quote from the book written by African Hidden Voices, they speak of an upward and downward theory. In this theory, they explain that the upward is where we find the Creator. Under the Creator are deities who are given different roles to accomplish. Then the downward theory is where the ancestors reside. It is where, when you die, you go to. In African spirituality, there are good ancestors and bad ancestors. The good ones are those whom, when they were alive, they did well and lived by the spiritual principles and did not do harm. Those, when they die, they go to the downward theory in the spiritual dimension, which we say they live in the inner earth. Then the bad ones are those whom, when they were alive, they were doing wrong things and did not abide by the spiritual principles. Others, they manipulated spirituality for their own gains. Those, when they die, they go to the parallel earth. Parallel earth is a spiritual world that exists within the physical world. It is where those who did wrong reside, and there in the parallel earth, the spirits that exist there can be manipulated and forced into doing anything, particularly bad things by witches. In some traditions, the soul may return through rebirth within the family or community. As we have heard the religious side and the African indigenous spirituality side of explanation of after death, as they always explained the religious sides of after death, now you get to understand the indigenous side of Africa. So in the end, the greatest question is not only where do we go when we die, but how will we live while we are still here? Because in African indigenous spirituality, it is said that we are spirits before flesh. We are spirits that are sent by the Creator and by our ancestors in the physical dimension to fulfill a certain purpose. We did not choose to live, but we were chosen by our ancestors to represent them in this physical dimension. So we are here, alive, living because of a certain purpose. Thank you.